1957, and the race fans of Southern California were anxiously awaiting the completion of a major motorsports facility to be known as Riverside International Raceway. Over the years, it's attracted the best drivers in the world and a wide variety of racing machines. But Southern California is growing, and the land that Riverside International sits on is now needed for a business complex and residential area. Already expensive homes are just beyond the racetrack itself. The bulldozers are waiting to tear up Riverside and end its glorious history. But today, the Winston Cup drivers are here for the final time, and Ricky Rudd will lead the field to the green flag. Rudd is still feeling the effects of a crash during the Winston at Charlotte last month. But you would never know it. He set a new track record in qualifying here, a mark that will stand forever. Alongside in row one, Rusty Wallace, who won 2 of 3 races on road courses last year, including Watkins Glen and here at Riverside. And with a good finish today, he could take over the Winston Cup points lead. The final chapter in Winston Cup racing at Riverside is about to be written. ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. Today from Riverside International Raceway, the Budweiser 400.
But more importantly, last fall, several crew members were injured on this very same pit road when several cars collided and there was an accident. NASCAR has taken steps to try to solve that problem and make this pit road safer by building a chicane. They've installed rubber pylons here at the entrance of pit road, and in order to get into the pits today, drivers are going to have to do it single file. They're going to have to line up one behind another. Now, we've never seen this, not only in Winston Cup racing, we've never seen it anywhere before. To make sure the drivers pay attention to the rules on this deal, there are severe penalties. If they spin out on pit road or if they knock one of these pylons over, it's a one-lap penalty, very serious penalty here at Riverside. There's another way to get into pit road, and that's down here. They can come in the back way. They can miss turns 8 and 9. But if you do that, it's a 30-second penalty. Nobody's tried this stuff yet, so we don't know for sure if it's going to work. We hope it does, and we hope we have a safe race.
400 kilometers of racing, and here now is the starting lineup for today's Budweiser 400. On the pole with a new track record of 118.484 miles an hour, the Quaker State Buick driven by Ricky Rudd. On the outside of that front row will be Rusty Wallace in the number 27 Kodiak Pontiac. In the second row, it'll be Terry Labonte from Thomasville, North Carolina in the number 11 Budweiser Banquet Baby Ruth Chevrolet. Outside of row number 2 is Neil Bonnet in the 75 Valvoline Plastic Coat Pontiac. Row number 3 has Kyle Petty in car number 21, the Citgo Thunderbird. Outside of row number 3, it's Dale Earnhardt in the GM Goodrich Chevrolet, car number 3. Fourth row, Darrell Waltrip in the number 17 Tide Exxon AC Chevrolet. Outside of row number 4, the number 9 Coors Motorcraft Ford driven by Bill Elliott. In the fifth row, Dave Marcus in car number 71, the Lifebuoy Soap Chevrolet. And then Sterling Marlin in the Piedmont Underalls Oldsmobile car number 44. Row number 6, it's the Folgers Exxon AC Chevrolet driven by Ken Schrader, car number 25. And then this Gold Bandit Chevrolet, which will be handled once again this week by Morgan Shepherd from Conover, North Carolina, car number 33. Starting in row number 7 will be Rick Hendrick, yes, the owner of the major race team in Winston Cup competition. He'll be driving the number 18 Levi Garrett Chevrolet. And the guy that normally drives for him, Jeff Bodine, alongside in car number 5. Going to row number 8, it is Mark Martin in car number 6 and Chad Little in 19, the fastest of the Winston West competitors. The 9th row has Brett Bodine in car number 15 and Lake Speed in 83. The 10th row, Dale Jarrett in 29 and Alan Kowicki in number 7. The 11th row consists of number 55, Phil Parsons, and 8, Bobby Hillen Jr. The 12th row, Bobby Allison in car 12 and Tom Kendall in 76. The 13th row, Rick Wilson in car number 4 and Roy Smith in 79. Derry Cope in number 68 and Joe Ruttman in 31 start in row 14. The 15th row has Richard Petty in car 43 and Benny Parsons in number 90. The 16th row, Rick McRae in 08 and Giacomo Giacomo in car 63. Buddy Baker and Davey Allison start in row number 17. In the 18th row, Herschel McGriff and Terry Petrus. The 19th row, Bill Schmidt and John Krebs. Going to row number 20, it's Jim Bound in car number 1 and Michael Waltrip in 30. And then in row number 21, the number 52 car of Jimmy Means and Ernie Urban in number 2. And the 43rd starter, car number 32 of provisional from the Winston West Division, Ruben Garcia. So there are your 43 starters in the back of the field. By the way, that Corvette Challenge race earlier today was won by Juan Manuel Fangio III in a very, very good contest. Now the field comes off of corner number 9, and we are just about set to go racing for 400 kilometers. The Budweiser 400, the final race at Riverside International for the Winston Cup cars, and the green flag is out. The field moves through turn number 1. A short chute now moving to turn number 2. And now they begin to go through the famous S's here at Riverside International. It's kind of an uphill struggle through the S's as they negotiate the track from left to right, back to left, back to right, and then come uphill to corner number 6.
Bob, is very narrow up through there, and you saw how quickly they got themselves in single file as they came through the S's.
Now across a short chute, connecting turn number 6 to actually turn number 8 because they missed turn number 7. The course is shortened for the Winston Cup cars, and so there is no real turn number 7. Through turn number 8 now and down the very long backstretch, of course, the fastest part of this racetrack. That's Ricky Rudd that's showing the way. Rusty Wallace running in second position. And then Neil Bonnet is third as they come down the backstretch and set their cars up for corner number 9, which is a big sweeping turn. And Ricky Rudd setting the car into turn number 9 right now. And the first lap is about to be completed in the race as Ricky Rudd will be showing the way off of corner number 9 and onto the main street.
Bobby Allison has won a lot of races on this road course and would like to be the winner of the last race here.
As a matter of fact, there are, you can see some dust being kicked up now, but apparently nobody is spun. It's a little difficult to see that 3 abreast racing through the S's as the visibility was reduced dramatically. However, it looks like
for Kyle Petty in the Wood Brothers Sitco Ford, apparently he has run over something and cut a tire. They're changing the right side tires, and here is a lot of smoke. Someone apparently got off of the track or maybe spun out. So much dust we can't even see the cars there.
It'll be a while. Yeah, we do see a car down in there, but which one it is, it's impossible to see right now as the yellow flag does come out. However, as a matter of fact, there is more than one car. Bobby Hillin Jr. is one of those off course. And still, could it be Davey Allison?
It looked like Davey Allison's car.
It is indeed.
Yes.
Both cars now get back on the racetrack, but we are yellow once again on lap number 12.
Well, somewhat of a break for Kyle Petty as we see what we can, if we can see what did happen as they came up through the S's. Kyle had just made a pit stop, so he got that. He'll stay in the lead lap. And here is.
Yeah, you can see.
They were already spinning. Davey Allison, it looked like, was spinning down on the inside.
It happened just ahead of Ricky Rudd that we were following, and there you can see the damage on the left. Elliott's car is still on pit road. As a matter of fact, there is the hood is up on that car, so something other than just a routine pit stop for the Elliott crew. And another car has gone off course, this under yellow. That's the 73 of Bill Schmidt, a Winston West competitor.
Bob, it could be that we saw that smoke coming from Jim Bowen's car. It could be that there was oil on the track up there that caused.
Guerrero crashed after Dale Earnhardt had blown an engine and spun in the S's, and also Chris Cord spun in the oil. So that could very well be what we have in this situation. There is Rick Hendrick in the Superflow Motor Oils car, and he is the leader of this race, so he picks up 5 Winston Cup bonus points, and so does Dale Earnhardt, who did lead a lap just before we went caution.
Well, Rick Hendrick is coming into the pits, and apparently he's going to get out of the car because he's already taken his window net down, so he evidently is going to let Elliott Forbes Robinson get in that car.
We'll watch to see if Rick Hendrick does indeed get out. Elliott Forbes Robinson is standing by ready to get in. Here comes Rick out of the car, and Elliott Forbes Robinson puts in some padding on the seat as Elliott is not nearly as tall and large in stature as Rick Hendrick is. But Elliott Forbes Robinson is being assisted as he gets into that car and will take over the controls. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Well, I'm with Rick Hendrick. He's got a big smile on his face and a lot of sweat. Rick, how was it?
It was good. I didn't want to get out of the car, but, you know, there was a plan to let Elliott get in. I might go back.
Well, why did you get out of the car if you didn't want to leave? It's your car.
Well, that was the deal. I had my fun yesterday. We thought we were going to win that race, we had a great time, and the car's running real good today, and we led a lap, so I figured it was time I'd get out now.
But you might go back in.
Yeah, might go back.
He did. He almost won the race yesterday. Jerry
Last weekend on the high banks of Dover is not doing well here this afternoon at Riverside as they continue to work on that car. Now it looks like the Dale Jarrett and the Hardy Oldsmobile is the car behind the pace car and shown as the leader.
How about that? First time that Dale has led a Winston Cup race, I believe, in his career. I don't recall him having been up front in any race, and I know that makes him feel good. Now, we will point out that Dale has not made a pit stop at either of these caution periods, but he was running. He started in 19th position, had worked his way up to 10th before this last caution, and so now he finds himself in the lead.
Maybe some of that comes back to me, some of the stuff that, even though there were go-karts that ran 120 mile an hour, they didn't weigh but 200 pounds. Some of the things you can learn from it, some of them you can't. And the motocross experience that I had on running motorcycles on the dirt, I think applies a lot here. And sort of a freestyle. Everybody's got a different way of doing it. And I really wouldn't say one way is right or wrong, but sometimes one guy can get around a little bit quicker than the next guy.
That's comments from Ricky Rudd. Meanwhile, Davey Allison just a few laps ago with a problem off the course, and now Dad Bobby has slid off the course, kicking up a big cloud of dust, but Bobby will get things going again and pull back out on the racetrack.
I don't believe he hit anything, Bob. I think he just spun around out into the dust. Took him a little while to get going. Here's Darrell Waltrip. Apparently he had gone off of the racetrack as well.
Well, it is a very narrow and tight race
use than the cars did back in those days, and there's a whale of a lot of competition out there as well.
Here is a car into the fence hard. We can't get a number. It's Ruben Garcia.
Has come outside of the racetrack into the corner of really the corner of the grandstand.
Oh boy, it's a miracle that the car did not go into an area of spectators right down here. This is right to the left of, rather the right of our broadcast booth. And it's an area where there is no guardrail. There is an opening as the cars come off of corner number 9 before the guardrail begins to protect the spectators here on the front stretch. And he has crashed through a tire barrier and is also right in front of the scoring stand.
And it looks like that's a place that it looked like it would be impossible to get into, Bob, with the race car, but don't know what position he got into that threw him over in that direction. So let's see if we can pick it up and see what did happen as he's coming off of the track. He's out of control as we see him coming across there.
Now watch him.
He hits that barrier, just the corner of it, and the car goes up into the air, hits the other concrete wall barrier there, and right in almost into the spectator area. And you can see the spectators scrambling for safety. It looks like, from our vantage point here, that they were okay, thank God.
They sure did scramble to get out of the way, though, as he broke through a concrete barrier. But it appears as if, and we haven't received any word from any of the safety officials, but it appears as if everybody is okay. There was some catch. Rusty Wallace's win here at Riverside came just last November in the Winston Western 500. And now you can see Ken Schrader beginning to challenge Little. Meanwhile, here comes Wallace to the inside of Ken Schrader in corner number 9, making it a three-way race. See what happens as they come out of the corner. Rusty tucks to the inside. Chad Little a little sideways, and so is Ken Schrader. But Rusty picks up 2 positions.
Boy, he just drove on down in the inside of that turn. When he said he was strong in turn 9, he was right. That car stuck right down on the inside.
Story, and the big part of that story has been whether it's been Goodyear or Hoosier that's been fastest. That's not the story here at all. It appears as if the tires are almost equal. If anything, Goodyear may have a slight edge. For sure, Goodyear is on more cars than anybody else's tires. So Goodyear has perhaps a better chance to do things. You see no.
A few minutes ago, we had another off-course excursion, this one by Bobby Hillin Jr.
Bobby going through the S's. It looks like he just got a little hard in there. The right rear tire got off on the dirt, and around he went in front of the car number 63 of Jocko Majakamo. And boy, he did a good job of maneuvering around Bobby Hillin as Bobby comes back across the track, gets on the dirt. He'll finally get it straightened out and get back out on the race course and get going again. Terry's body before he came in the pits. I think Kyle only took on 2 tires, and Terry did take on 4. Dave Marcus coming into the pits right now in car number 71.
Oh, we have a crash. That's Lake Speed, who got off the course and hit the wall and got airborne, as a matter of fact, but everything settled down, and now The car is half on the racetrack and half off as the others go by. Let's take a look at what happened as Lake Speed and Richard Petty were running out there together, and Richard with a little bit of a nudge sending Lake Speed sideways.
Yep, just a little bit of a nudge. Boy, he did hit that wall pretty good. Climbed up on the wall for a little bit and then bounced back down into the dirt.
But Lake Speed keeps going, and we have no caution on the racetrack.
Let's see which one has it now.
Pontiac or Buick. These guys started on the front row. Rudd was on the pole with Wallace outside. And now Wallace has the lead, getting the left side of the car off the racetrack just slightly and kicking up a little bit of dust. And look how close Ricky Rudd is. Oh, we have a spin. Ken Schrader is looping coming off of corner number 9. And Neil Bonnet also spins. Spins actually into the pit area, knocking down some of the pylons. Sterling Marlin also involved. So was Dave Marcus. Both of those cars are still running. Now Neil gets his car headed in the right direction, and everybody escapes, but the yellow flag comes out once again.
But these leaders have not gotten the yellow flag yet, so they're going to be racing back to the yellow flag. Of course, their pit crew are telling them on the radio, hey, everything's clear down here, guys. Go on through. Go as hard as you can. So they will race back all the way to the start-finish line because that wreck happened behind them.
They're coming out of corner number 8. We'll have to go down the backstretch. And the yellow flag is out.
Ricky Rudd make a pass as Rusty Wallace has slowed down.
Well, now, have they received the yellow back there, or do they race to the front stretch?
The only official yellow flag is at the start-finish line. They were told that in the driver's meeting, so you can see everybody making passes as they come down through there. Now, a number of the cars behind them have gotten the yellow flag, but apparently Dale Earnhardt did not. But they are racing back to the flag at the start-finish line.
So Wallace now is third as both Earnhardt and Phil Parsons passed. Now they come down for the yellow, and Earnhardt is going to be the leader of the race. Phil Parsons second, then Rusty Wallace, Terry Labonte, and Ricky Rudd. And I'm a little bit confused because it appeared to me as if both Wallace and Rudd slowed down there on the backstretch. Because of this little scramble that occurred coming out of corner number 9, as watch Ken Schrader's red number 25 car may have been bumped by Terry Labonte, and anyway it sent Ken Schrader sideways.
And right back down into Neil Bonnet. He tapped Neil and knocked him around down on the inside of the track. And then Sterling Marlin came through. I believe Sterling got through there okay. He just came down pit road, and Dave Marcus went down into the dirt.
Back at Riverside under caution, and there's a little bit of confusion as to who should be leading this race. We are getting an explanation from NASCAR at the moment. We believe that Rusty Wallace and Ricky Rudd will be moved back to the front of the pack because the pace car had its lights flashing and was trying to get onto the racetrack back there in corner number 8 when the others, including Dale Earnhardt and Phil Parsons, shot by Rudd and Wallace. And this is how it happened.
Here as they came off of turn 8, of course, Wallace was leading the race, and you can see the pace car did have the lights on, and of course they knew the caution was out, so Rusty slowed down. Rudd passed him, and Earnhardt just drove right on past all of them. He was still wide open at that point, and even though the official caution flag is at the start-finish line, you're saying because the pace car had its caution lights on, that was confusing to the drivers. That's why they slowed down, and they're going to change them, put them back up there. Now, Earnhardt's not going to give that up very easy. But NASCAR has the call on it, so they are going to put Rusty Wallace back in front.
Let's once again try to reach Rusty Wallace to get his feelings on what's going on out there. Rusty, this is Bob Jenkins. You read again?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
What's going on?
Well, NASCAR's getting all confused. They're letting cars that are behind, lap cars are behind me. They let Ricky Rudd pass them. These are single file restarts. They're not allowed to do that. The pace car pulled out in front of me and Rudd in the middle of back straight, which he wasn't supposed to do that. Now he's got everything all piled up. This is going to cost me a race, and I'm going to drive my butt off. Let's see what happens.
So when you saw the pace car there in the backstretch, you got off the accelerator, right?
That's right. The pace car turned the yellow lights on and pulled in front of us in the middle of back straightaway. Me and Rudd both stopped, but Earnhardt took off. It's not right. NASCAR's got it messed up.
Well, apparently you and Rudd are being put back in first and second, so they may have this whole thing figured out. Between Terry Labonte and Phil Parsons, Labonte appears to have third as they head for turn number 9. Phil Parsons back to fourth. Dale Earnhardt is in fifth position. And let's go to Dick Berggren, who is in the Richard Childress Dale Earnhardt pit. They can't be happy with what just happened.
No, they sure are not happy with what just happened. And with Kirk Shelmerdine, who's watching the last turn, turn 9, with his glasses, and they take vigorous exception to the decisions that have just been made. Kirk, what's your view of it?
All the leaders had not taken the yellow. They were racing back around the racetrack with the yellow flag. Start-finish line. Rusty and Ricky Rudd complained about the pace car moving out on the racetrack, on the backstretch while they were racing. So they slowed down and they claimed that's how Dale.
Dale's in trouble, by the way, Dick.
I'm standing here watching Dale with the glasses to make sure he doesn't run off in the dirt or anything, so we know he's ready. That pace car didn't move. It stayed in the same place. It's always been all day long.
Oh, man, we got some...
Slow down, he screwed up.
We got some great action out there, Dick. I'll tell you, Dale Earnhardt is just driving the wheels off that car. And we've got more action up through the S's. Yellow flag is out in that particular section of the racetrack. I don't know whether it's going to be an overall caution. Apparently not. We don't see Harold Kinder below us with the yellow, but certainly there is a lot of dust up there and up there in the S's. Meanwhile, it is Rusty Wallace leading Terry Labonte, Ricky Rudd, Dale Earnhardt, Phil Parsons, and Benny Parsons.
Terry Labonte was able to get around Ricky Rudd and has moved away from him, and he might be moving in on Rusty Wallace a little bit, Bob. He is really moving that Budweiser Chevrolet.
There are 3 laps to go. That completes lap number 92. There you can see some damage to the left side of the Ricky Rudd car. Meanwhile, Kyle Petty in car number 21, who is running in the top 10, is coming toward the pit. Well, there he is. The Wood Brothers Ford being brought into pit road by Kyle Petty.
Apparently he has a flat tire on that car. It looks like the left front might be flat on the car, so they had no choice but to come in and change that. That's going to cost him a lot of positions. He should stay in the lead lap, and we only have 14 cars in the lead lap, but Kyle had been running up in the top 5 most of the day.
Boy, that was just some great action there while we were hearing from Kirk Shelmerdine in the pit area. Dale was just trying everything he could to pass cars and get back up there toward the front.
Well, he's running right behind Ricky Rudd now, who's running in the 3rd position, so that means Earnhardt is running in the 4th position.
There's Dale down the backstretch. Rusty Wallace leads, and as they come around this time, we will have 2 more laps to go. There's a good battle between Phil Parsons and Benny Parsons. Also involved is Richard Petty in car number 43. Here comes Wallace at the start-finish line. There are 2 more laps to go. 5 miles of racing remain as we watch this Parsons and Petty battle. This has got to be one of Benny Parsons' best performances of the year. His best finish so far has been a 13th at Bristol, and he's well within the top 10. As a matter of fact, he is in 6th position.
Having a very good run. You can see Rusty Wallace hit the curving on with his left front there just a moment ago. It didn't seem to slow him down much. He was about 1 3/10 seconds behind or ahead of Terry Labonte when they came by the start-finish line the last time around. So it looks like that Labonte is staying at least that close behind him.
So you think Rusty has this thing won, Ned?
Well, I don't know. I'll tell you, there's so many things that can happen on a road course in particular, but he's going to run his heart out.
Here's a car.
Here's trouble in.
That's Benny. Too bad.
Oh, what a tough
So
race.
close to the finish.
Yeah, he was running so good, had run so good all day. We just got through talking about him. He's going to get that thing back out there and get him a finish position, though. He should stay in the lead lap, but that cost him a lot of positions.
Tough break for Benny Parsons. Meanwhile, here comes Rusty Wallace out of corner number 9. And the white flag is being shown by Harold Kinder. Rusty Wallace has 1 more lap to go, and he'll have 3 victories in the last 4 road races in Winston Cup competition. But there is Terry Labonte, and he is not too far behind. Ricky Rudd continues to run 3rd. But Rusty, it seems to me, if he can hang this car on the racetrack and keep it straight, he's going to have another victory in his pocket.
I think he will. He was 1 second ahead of Terry Labonte when they came across the start-finish line, which meant that Labonte gained a little over a third of a second on him the last lap, but he just has 1 to go, and it's hard to make up a full second.
Rusty Wallace comes through corner number 8. He has the long backstretch and corner 9 ahead of him before the checkered flag. He's keeping ahead, about the same distance ahead of Terry Labonte and of Ricky Rudd.
Well, he's got the worst of the racetrack out of his way. However, turn number 9 can be very tricky. He has to be careful not to get in there too fast and slide high. That's his biggest problem right now. He's coming up on Bobby Hillen. As he goes into that turn, he moves around Hillen with no problem at all, and he slows it down going into that turn, gets her right down on the inside, as we've seen him so many times today. Looks like he's got it made, Bob.
Rusty Wallace comes out of corner number 9 in the Kodiak Pontiac, slips just a little, but he's got the race won. He crosses the line, and Rusty Wallace wins. Terry Labonte is second, followed by Ricky Rudd, Dale Earnhardt, Phil Parsons, Richard Petty, and the number 6 car of Mark Martin finishes 7th. For Ned Jarrett, Dick Bergman, and Jerry Punch, this is Bob Jenkins. So long, everyone.